Get on in here, everybody.
Well, these piles of clutter could be blessing others, so I'm flying. And while I'm flinging, you can hear me singing. I'm flying. I help my friends and family, but with routines in place, I still have time for me. I can get things done while I'm having fun, 'cause I'm flying.
I stopped it right on cue that time before the saxophone kicked in. Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are in Fly Lady Land, and it's Thursday, and I have some questions. Fly Lady will save you money. There's a commercial on TV where this cartoon dude, I remember when it was a real dude, but he passed away several years ago. Mattress Max will save you money, and he shakes a bunch of dollar bills. Well, I got questions. But first, let me talk a little bit about what's going on. I have been reading an amazing book, and it's on my Kindle, but I'm listening to the audio version, and I don't know if y'all understand this about me, but I like to listen to audiobooks, podcasts, audiobooks. I've always got something in my ear listening to. And for this past weekend, there was a movie that came out. And that movie that came out was shadow banned by Facebook and Twitter. And it still had an amazing box office run. But I like to read the book before I go see a movie. And this book is named Unplanned. Now, what's the most amazing thing about this book I'm reading? It's about a spiritual journey and how God has a plan for all of us. And I have been so touched by this book. Every step of the way I've been reading this book, I have cried, I have laughed, I have cried again. But it is an amazing journey for this one woman who just wanted to help people. And that's about all I'm going to say, but people didn't want this movie to do well. And I want this book to be a #1 bestseller, and it will touch a lot of people's lives. So those of you who have seen it, great. But the books are always wonderful, but I love listening to this book, and I'll probably read it a second time, because when you're listening to a book and doing other things, sometimes you lose a little in the process. So Unplanned is the name of it. Liz and Patty just put the link up for it on Amazon. But the movie just came out this weekend, and people didn't want folks to go see this movie. So despite not being able to get any publicity about this movie, it has done well. It exceeded their numbers. So that's my little plug for that movie and the book. If you get a chance, read it. And it is just an amazing journey of letting God's breezes lead you to where you're supposed to be. And I'm just blown away by it. But I have some questions. And there's my son. And this morning I've been working on next week's messages, and I've been trying to get a theme for next week's messages. Well, we all know what April 15th is for those of us living in the United States. It's tax time, folks. And some of you haven't done your taxes yet. And I've decided next week is going to be a focus on paper clutter. You know, as these piles of clutter. Well, what's in those piles is paper. And we're going to tackle our paper clutter next week. Yep, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to stay consistent. I'm going to give you focus every day. And it is going to be powerful. You're going to clean up this paper clutter. We're going to shred. We're going to have a bonfire out in your fire pit. It's one of the best ways to utilize having your fire pit is to get rid of some of this paper clutter. You're scared people are going to steal your identity. Well, let's burn it up. Put some limbs and twigs and logs on there, and just have a bonfire every night, getting rid of stuff. So this will be fun. Get a bunch of marshmallows, and get a bunch of Hershey bars and some graham crackers, and let's have some fun and make some memories and get rid of paper clutter. And we can do that. So that's what next week's going to be about. Our habit for this month for the month of April, is making our bed. I've known fly babies who had beds they couldn't even get into because they had so much clutter around their beds, on their beds. They folded clothes on their beds, and when the clothes didn't get folded, they couldn't even get in their bed. So we are going to make our beds, and we're going to have a beautiful bedroom by the time this month is over with, because when the shiny sink of your bedroom is your made bed, when that is made, you tend to get rid of the rest of the clutter in the room too. And you can do this. You really can. So that's our next week, our month. We're practicing the habit of making our bed. And right now we're in Zone 1. Zone 1 is our entrance to our home, our front porch, and our dining room. Some people have a dining room they never go into. Some people have a dining room that is just a desk that's filled with paper clutter. So we're going to get rid of this paper clutter next week. And you can get a head start on it if you want to. And build your fire pit this weekend, because you're going to use it next week. But I got questions. And I think we'll start with a little song. Let's see, what kind of song we're going to sing today. Oh, I don't want to do that one again. I do that every time. Okay, we're going to do Slow and Steady. You got it? We're going to do it. Is it good? Yeah. We're going to take a calm tone to today's show. Even though we started out with fire.
All day I rush around, but I'm still on the ground, on the ground. I'll soon be fluttering if I can find my wings, find my wings. that slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps will win this race. It will take some time, but the victory will be mine. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to fly, and I will soar. I will reach the sky. A little at a time, I'm reaching. I'll keep believing that slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps will win this race. It will take some time, but the victory will be mine. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to fly. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to
For those of you who don't like my music, you can leave. It's real easy. So, this music is very special to me. And we are going to teach you how to fly. And that's why I started with this song. Because we've got to take it slow and steady. If we don't take it slow and steady, we're going to crash and burn. And you all know how that goes. You start with some system and you go 90 miles an hour, 7 days a week, and then before you know it, you're dead flat on your back, can't do anything, because you have crashed and burned. You haven't taken it slow and steady. So we are going to use the music to set the tone for what we're doing today, and I'm going to answer your questions. And I have 2 sheets of them here. What is the best way to keep papers under control, and what system do you use to keep important papers? Well, I don't keep a lot of important papers. Robert keeps them. I would put them in a safe place and they would be gone forever. Ask Justin. He knows. There's a car title hiding someplace safe in this house, and we have not found it after 20-something years. So I don't put things in a safe place. I give them to Robert, and he puts them in a safe place. He organizes things for us. We have a safe, and he keeps those things in a little tin box in the safe. So we have important papers to keep. Social Security cards, birth certificates, insurance papers, insurance policies. Those are some of the things. Car titles. Those are important papers to keep. Birth certificates, death certificates of family members that you might need later on. But you keep those in a file in a safe or in your lockbox at the bank. But that's where you keep them. And if you want to keep a copy of them in your control journal, you can do that too. We put together a red control journal for emergency things, and that way if you need to evacuate your home, you can grab your control journal, especially if all your stuff is at the bank. Sometimes you need copies of things, and you can get certified copies of birth certificates and different things. But just having a copy in your control journal can help you to get some things done. Now, let me show you a control journal. Let me show you our red control journal. Now this is our red office in a bag. I called it a control journal because you can get a control journal with it. But you put your own 1-inch 3-ring binder in it. It's a notebook cover that zips up so things don't fall out. And that way you have your insurance policies, you have your important phone numbers, you have a backup copy of everything you need with you if you have to be evacuated from your home. And that can happen for lots of reasons. Maybe there was a bad fire in Texas 2 weeks ago and another one this week. People had to be evacuated or they had to shelter in place. Other reasons people get evacuated: earthquakes, volcanoes in Washington State, Wyoming, and Hawaii, other places in the world, Italy. You may have to evacuate at a moment's notice. 1 moment's notice. They knock on your door or run through your neighborhood and you've got to grab and go. Fires are another reason people get evacuated. So having all your important papers in this little bag, and it's red and you can find it, and you put it on a bookshelf and you know where it is, where you just grab the handle and go. Jump in the car. And that's why we keep our cars filled up with gas. We're being prepared. We're being prepared to get out of the house when you need to. And get your critters out of the house. Train your critters to the shake of the treat can. You understand that? The shake of the treat can. Because it saved my gray cat's and white cat's life when our house caught on fire. Because we got the dogs out fine, because we can put them on a leash and stick them in the car, but we couldn't get the cats out. You can't herd cats. And so I trained them to the shake of this treat thing and got them outside. And we were at ease at that point. I didn't have to go back in the house after them. Next question. Let's see. What system do I use to keep papers under control? Well, that system is called File 13. It's a very important file folder. It's a trash can. Do you hear me? It's your trash can. Or your fire pit. Next week we're going to focus on this. But the best way to keep papers under control is to throw them away as they come in the house. We had one lady who kept her shredder in her garage. So she would stop by the mailbox and get her mail as she was coming in the house. And she would go through the mail sitting in her car. And then as she would get out of the car, she would hand the stuff that needed to be shredded immediately to one of the kids that were old enough to do it and put it through the shredder. Her mail had to earn the right to come in her house. It's just how it is. It had to earn the right. Because if it didn't pass her inspection sitting in the car, it went immediately into the shredder. Okay, next question. There's my brother-in-law. Hey, Jay. I work from home and I have 4 kids, ages 6 through 15. I have established routines this school year and things are running smoothly. Good for you. I am starting to worry, how will I maintain these routines when all the kids are home this summer and I'm working 8 hours? Any advice on maintaining peace? Well, we have something called Camp Gonna Wanna Fly. Now, your 15-year-old can be the camp counselor. And each week you can do a different kind of camp. And this control journal is free on our website. In the control journal section, there's a Camp Gonna Wanna Fly control journal on how to build your camp. But this will keep the kids involved in things. And you got to give the kids a goal. Let's say maybe your goal is for them to declutter their rooms this summer. Well, this is the only time I ever recommend a yard sale, is for the kids to do it themselves. But you gotta monitor it. But they can get rid of their clutter. They can put it in a yard sale and raise money for things that they want to do during the summer, like go swimming, go to movies, go hiking, different things. It might cost a little money, but it'll work. And you give kids goals, because when you're in camp, you have to keep your room clean. So each person's room can be a cabin name. Camp Gonna Wanna Fly. And they do their laundry. They do lots of things. It's getting the kids involved. And you're going to have fun with this. We've had people that have had nighttime camps where they went stargazing. We have had folks who have done immersion classes, and they incorporated cooking with the classes, and they would go to a different country each week during the summer. And they would learn different languages. So this can be fun. But remember the reward system. If you'll remember that, you'll get your kids to do lots of things. Okay, next question. My question is, I'm living with my in-laws right now, and my mother-in-law doesn't let me clean her area downstairs. We live in a loft upstairs and share a kitchen and bathroom. I can't really control if the sink stays clean and shiny. What do you recommend for fly babies in this or a similar situation? Well, all you got to do is set the example. When you go into the kitchen, you have to clean up after yourself. If you go in there to cook, start with a clean and shiny sink and leave it with a clean and shiny sink. And that's not cleaning, that's picking up after yourself and not leaving a mess for her. She'll be appreciative of it. And offer to vacuum for her, offer to do other things. But if she's got a lot of clutter, you can't force her to declutter. But you pick up after yourself. You take care of your stuff and your family stuff. And you do your laundry and offer to help, offer to do some of her laundry. You can be part of this. If you will just set the example in love, and you're going to see a big difference in your mother-in-law. But you clean up after yourself. Wipe down counters. Put the dishes away. Empty the dishwasher. You're going to make things easier for her. She could be a control freak, though, so get ready. But if you share a kitchen, you need to share kitchen responsibilities. That's part of being at camp again. Caper duty. We all need to have responsibility in the kitchen. That's how we learn. That's how we learn to cook. That's how we learn to clean, is all having responsibilities. I know when I was in Girl Scout camp, there were maybe 12 of us at a table, and everybody had a different duty. Somebody washed the dishes, somebody dried the dishes, somebody rinsed the dishes, somebody put the dishes away, somebody set the table, somebody swept the floor, somebody put the food out on the table, somebody scraped all the plates. You see how many different jobs comes with your kitchen? You can go through it right quick. And everybody had a different job. And each chair at a table had a different job, and we rotated around the table till everybody had done that job. So you set the example in love. Get your kids involved in helping too. Okay, how do I now start to switch over to the deep cleaning in the areas when I look at seasonal things. I've been flying for 6 months. Well, you're already doing the deep cleaning in those areas if you're doing our daily missions. And if you're not getting our flight plan every night at 5:30, you're not getting the mission. So sign up to get our emails. You get this flight plan every night that tells you what zone we're in, all this stuff, and it'll have a fly kid mission, it'll have a fly baby mission, and it will be a wonderful thing. But when you're doing the mission, you're doing the deep cleaning. Now, yesterday, Robert had to work on his chair, and we deep cleaned under his chair. We took the dust mop and got all the dust bunnies out from under there, and it was a chance for us to do a little deep dive into the living room. You don't do that often, but hey, when you do your mission, you're doing this detailed cleaning. When you take your Christmas tree down, you clean up after the tree. When you put it up, you clean up before you put the tree up. So, yeah, it is seasonal, but we don't spring clean anymore. We never have to spring clean again. Say that 3 times in a row without messing up. You don't have to spring clean anymore. Now, some of you are getting ready for Passover, and that's a religious observance where you have to get all the leavened food out of your home. And that's a whole different ball game when it comes to detailed cleaning, because I've done a podcast about that, and I think it's on our website. Just do a search for Passover. Somebody just drove up. Hold on a second. Let me see who it is. It's the UPS guy. I knew it sounded like a big truck. Anyway, so he'll probably ring the doorbell too. So when you're getting ready for Passover, it's a whole different thing. And I'm not Jewish, so I don't know what they have to do, but I did a program on it one time and interviewed 2 Jewish mothers, and they told me what to do. Any tips? This is a problem I have. Any tips on managing pet hair on the bed? Okay. We have a white cat. We have a puppy dog. And this puppy dog thinks she has to sleep right in the middle of us. And Robert and I have a split king bed. So I have a twin bed and he has a twin bed, and they meet in the middle. And so Robert has his covers because he's hot-natured, and I have my covers because I like covers. I like a quilt and a blanket and a sheet. And see, I told you he'd ring the doorbell. I don't think I've ordered anything that has to be signed for. If he rings it again, I got to go get the door, y'all. And the minute one of us gets up, the dog gets in our place because it's warm and snuggly. So, what I have come up with, and I only thought of this like 2 weeks ago. There, he's leaving. He just left it at the door. I only thought of this 2 weeks ago. I took a big brown flannel sheet, heavy-duty sheet, and I put it over both of us, both of our beds, and then the cat lays on that sheet and the dog lays on that sheet, and it's thick enough that any little pieces of grit or hair does not get through it. And it just has made it so much better. We're not having to deal with pet hair in the bed with us. It may be on top of the bed, but it's not in the bed with us. And I also keep a rubber scrubber. Where's my rubber scrubber? I lost my rubber scrubber. There it is. I keep one of these in the drawer beside my bed, and I can take that and sweep the top of that that blankie, well, it's a flannel sheet is what it is, and I sweep the top of it because the little cat hair tickles my nose and it wakes me up in the middle of the night. So I sweep that, and I use this to do it with. I also can get the hair off of my pillow from my head and sweep it. So this is great for keeping your sheet. If you get in the bed and you have a little stray of sand on your foot and it gets in your bed, this will sweep it right out between changing your sheets that we do every week. That's how I manage pet hair on the bed. Okay, folks, I'm losing my voice. Let's drink up. Wow, that hits the spot. Do you have any advice for full-time working mothers? I have the same advice for them that I have for those that don't work full-time. You got to get up and you got to get dressed to lace up shoes immediately. If you have little kids, you need to get up 15 minutes before the flow of the family so you can take care of everything you need to do. If you work outside the home 5 days a week or 6 days a week like I used to have to do, you do one weekly home blessing item, one weekly home blessing a day. That's it. That's it. And that way you can keep up with your missions. When you are having, you have to get up and get out from the house. So you need to establish a launch pad. And that launch pad is by your front door or someplace in your house that you have to walk past to leave your house. And you put your briefcase there. You put your tote bag that you're taking stuff with you. You've got a note there that reminds you to grab your lunch out of the refrigerator and the kids' lunches. So somebody's asking about rubber scrubbers. Yes, I have a rubber scrubber in every room. And they're all labeled right here. I'm sorry I got sidetracked, but I saw a question. And that way you've got everything by the launch pad. You get up and you put on your lace-up shoes. If you have to wear dress shoes at work, those dress shoes go by the front door so that you can either change out of them or change into them when you get to work. Some people take their dress shoes with them to work, and they stay in their lace-up shoes in case they have to walk any distance. They got their lace-up shoes on them. And if you're in a city and you have to walk to work or take the subway or whatever, you need lace-up shoes on, not dress shoes. You can't walk around the city in dress shoes. You need practical shoes and carry your dress shoes with you. And then have an extra pair at the office in case you forget them in the file drawer for emergencies. So there you have it. The advice is the same. You're away from home, but I wished everybody would act like they had an 8-hour job outside the home every day, because they would get more things done, because they would be more respectful of their own time. Now, we have something called Parkinson's Law number 2. A job will expand to fill the time that you have. So if you need to mail a card to a nephew for his birthday and you've got all day to do it, it's going to take all day. But if you get up and you get it done, then it's going to be amazing how fast you can do it. And you're not going to drag it out. But when you take all day, when you have all day, you'll take all day. That's why we like to set a timer for 2 minutes, 3 minutes to get these things done. And you're going to love it. You're going to love how much stuff you can get done. So I wished everybody acted as if they were a work outside the home mom. How do you suggest I bring balance to our new home? Well, first thing is, don't move trash. If you don't love it, you don't have a place for it, it makes you feel bad when you look at it. Pardon me. Gotta have another drink. So, if you have it, when you move, only pack up things you love. Keep one thing, not two, and get rid of the rest. Have a yard sale. I mean, donate it is better, but have a free yard sale. You put free on it, somebody's going to take it away. Pardon me. Don't move anything that you don't love. Now, the balance you bring is packing. When you pack things up in a reverse order fashion. So when you first realize you're going to move, it's probably 3 months from the time that you're actually going to move. You can start packing boxes in each room of things you don't use very often. You can just start packing them up. Number the box, label it what's in there, and put it on a control journal sheet for moving. That says this is box number 1. Box number 1 contains, if it's in the dining room, it's your china. Pack it up with dish towels you don't use often. And box it all up, label it, set it against the wall. Color code these boxes. So give each room in your new house a color code. So if it's the dining room, make it hot pink. If it's the kitchen, make it red. My kitchen has red in it. If it's the living room, make it blue. And put a piece of blue tape or a big blue marker. You can buy some really fat Sharpie markers. And then you can take a note card and put that color on it and tape it over the door so that when people bring the boxes in, they can stage them in those rooms. It's getting to be moving time. May and June are big moving months. My sister's been moving for a month now, a little bit at a time. She hadn't even needed a moving truck. Can you believe that? So you've got all this stuff, and you're packing it up as you don't need it. Now, the last thing you do is pack up the stuff you're going to use the next morning or that night when you get to your new house. So you're probably going to be tired and you're going to order pizza, so you're going to need paper plates, you're going to need plastic cups, plastic silverware. So you're going to want to start a picnic little basket. And this is going to go in the car with you. You're going to need towels and sheets for each bed. Yep. Not just try to find them in a box somewhere and pull your hair out. But you've got sheets for every bed. You've got towels for every bed. And you've got clothes for everybody. It's like you're going on vacation to a condo that you have to take your own sheets and towels to. This is all you got to do. Somebody is asking about a puppy that I have to show you this. I have a puppy. She hasn't used the puppy pads in a long time, but I'm sorry I'm getting sidetracked, but I see this problem and I found the cure for it. I got on Amazon and I found a little plastic tray that goes in the back of an SUV, and it was $15. And I'm going to show you a picture of it. Hold on just a second. Here we go. Let me flip it around. How do I do that? There we go. There is the little tray. See how cool that is? The puppy pads stay in there, and I don't have to worry about her missing the puppy pad. I put 2 just in case. That was a good question. Because we actually had that problem. I was getting so sick of it, I couldn't stand it. I was having to put Miracle stuff down every time she missed the pad or the pad would run over. She barely ever has to use it anymore. And I am so thankful. It has made my life much easier. But it took about a year. About a year. So to bring balance to your home back in the new home, here's what we're going to do. You're going to stage all the boxes in the rooms where they belong. And you're going to go slow and steady. First thing you're going to do is unpack your kitchen. And as you unpack your kitchen, you're going to be ruthless. You're going to get rid of things that you packed up that you're never going to use again. And get your kitchen ready to cook. Get your crock pot out so that it can help you while you are putting things away and getting your house back in order. And then work with the zones. Work with the zones. And by the end of the month, you'll have everything unpacked and put away. Now, break down the boxes as you empty them. Take one box and start filling it up with stuff to give away. Take it directly to the car so you can donate the next time you're out. And you're going to be so surprised at how fast you're going to get your house unpacked and ready to go. But unpack those boxes. 5 a day. That's all you got to do. 5 a day. And in 25 days, look how 125 boxes. You shouldn't have that many boxes, but if you did, 5 a day. And you're going to love it. You're going to feel good about your home. Everything's going to have a place. Now, you may have to take some Post-it note tape and put some Post-it notes on where you put things. But when you label things, say, this is the top drawer of my dresser. On the box, so you know it goes back in there. Slow and steady is good for everything in your life. It really is. Your home is going to hug you. Now, some of the last things you need to put in your car before you move, you need to put your Fly Lady tools in the car. Yes, they will get stolen. Feather dusters have been stolen in a move. Rubber sweepers have been stolen in a move. So you need to take your cleaning stuff with you in the car so that you can clean as you get the house unpacked. You get everything clean. Toilet bowl brushes, it may be the time to buy a new toilet bowl brush as a gift to you. Throw the old ones away. Don't take those germs to the new house. Get you a new one. Next, got one more question. How do I keep my 17-year-old on board with cleaning and organizing her room? You can't. That proves to me that you're a perfectionist. You can't make her do anything at 17 if she hadn't started when she was 6 or 7 or 8. Now, you can give her incentives with movie cards, little things like that could give her incentives if she keeps her room clean or if she keeps her dirty clothes picked up. I mean, what are the 5 things that go wrong in a kid's room? Dirty clothes on the floor, backpacks emptied out all over the place, shoes everywhere, a closet that's too full to hold things. That makes their whole life crazy. Every kid's room needs a trash can. If they have a desk in their room, their desk needs to be emptied. and the drawers need to be empty so they have a place to put things. And you can't make her do it, but you could help her. If she doesn't know where to start, 17-year-olds sometimes just need a place to start. So help her make her bed. Get her a bedspread that she really likes. Even for teenage boys, maybe they need superheroes or whatever, Ask them what they want. Let that be a reward for them to get a bedspread that they really love. And before you know it, things are going to... Her room's going to stay clean. Now, we have a kid mission that comes out every day, and it's for little kids, but you can adapt it for big kids. And we have a student control journal, a college student control journal on our website, too, that's free for kids going off to college, but it'll work for a 17-year-old. You got to break the room down into zones or into different topics. Liz played a game with Mikey one time where she wrote 5 things down on 5 little note cards. And he'd flip them over and he'd pick up all his toys. He'd pick up all his dirty clothes and put it in the hamper. He picked up all his shoes. He made his bed. Put his books away. So you see, they can do a lot of things. But you can't say, go clean your room, because if somebody told you to go clean the house, where would you start? Well, I'd go start with my shiny sink. So there you have it. That's all our questions for today. Look at that. Anybody else got any more questions? I'll hang on right here just a little bit. Put a $5 bill on their desk. You could have a scavenger hunt. Google Play cards. I don't know what that is. But kids will do things for money. Mattress Max will save you money. Well, teenage kids will do things for money. They will. But you got to ask them what they want. Some of you have started thinking about Easter and what you're cooking for Easter. Well, we like to do a ham around here and deviled eggs. Somebody posted that already. But I don't do deviled eggs. I do angeled eggs. And I cook my eggs in the oven, which it's on our website. I've showed you how to do it. There's a video of it. We've got all this great food videos on YouTube that you can go see. But the angeled eggs are so much fun. They're so much fun to do because if you're going to do a bunch of eggs, they're really good. But you got to follow the directions exactly. Exactly. And you have to start with room temperature eggs, so leave them out overnight. And are all the fly tools, let's see, are all the fly tools explained on the website? Yeah, there's a big explanation. You have to scroll down. You see the picture of it, and you hit the picture, and you go to the actual page, and then below the folds, you got to scroll all the way down to get the whole description and what they do. It's all there. I think someone here should fix, I don't know what a macaw is, for angeled eggs. I like it. Yep. I use a bit of Dawn and a bucket of dishwater to keep a little water on the mop as possible. Well, I like a lot of water on the mop. Yeah, if you get your emails on your phone, it makes it so much easier to read when you get a chance, because it's right on your phone. I have my Gmail account set up. That's where I get my emails. Even though I've written them and I've set them up, I still like to read them. Let me see if I can get some more comments here. Uh-oh, it went away. There we go. I could use a little coaching about the rags, a routine when doing a deep clean. I don't know what that means because we don't really deep clean anymore. After a while, the rag starts leaving cat hairs behind. Well, that means you need to wash your rag out and get a clean rag. I use two rags a lot of times. I use a purple one and a silver one. Silver ones are half price right now. Get them while we have them. And a purple one. And when you get your purple ones, you need to wash them in hot water. I like to wash dishes with them for a few times. And then I run them through the washing machine. I wash my rags with my mop cloths. They're all microfiber. You can't hurt them. But don't wash your purple rags and silver rags with a towel. You'll get lint all over. I keep a purple rag in my bathtub. I keep one by the washing machine because it will take out spots, believe it or not, on my clothes. I put a little Dawn dishwasher in it, wet it a little bit, and it'll take out a spot on my clothes. So there, folks. We got a few more minutes, but I want to leave you with what goes around comes around. My nephew called me this morning, Ben, and he told me of this saying he had heard, and it boiled down to what goes around comes around. If you are good to others, it's going to come back to you. If you help somebody having car trouble, somebody's going to help you when you have car trouble. What goes around comes around. And loving each other and blessing each other with the love that's inside of you is going to change the way people look at you. You're going to be setting the example in love and service. And when our houses, yesterday I got to talk to Scott Adams. I forgot to tell y'all this. He did a wonderful podcast on Periscope. Look up Scott Adams on Periscope. He did a wonderful podcast about how to write, how to become a writer. And I know a lot of you want to become writers, and I've talked about it several times. But I had a few little win tokens, this is his cryptocurrency, and in my Periscope account. No, it was, I got to talk to him on his app, the Interface app, after he did this wonderful podcast, or Periscope. And he was teaching people how to become an author. And what I told him, I called and told him, I said, you did really good. It was a great show. I loved every minute of it. It's everything that I've always said, but you missed one important part. And he said, what's that? And I said, I'm a writer too. I've only written 4 books where Scott Adams has written probably a dozen. And I explained to him that I had a huge following on Facebook and I had an email list. And I told him the one thing that hampers me from writing is my surroundings being messy. And that I have to make sure everything around me is clean and not tugging at me. And he said, you're so right. I did miss that. And he said, I do this personally. I make sure that my whole area is clean so that I can write. He has a routine for writing. And I have a routine for writing. I even have a game for writing. I didn't tell him about my game, but that's how I wrote The Chaos Cure, is with a game. And it was fun because, a book is divided into, the book is divided into sections first. And then it has chapters in each section. And then it has little paragraphs or sections within, little segments within each chapter. And each of those segments has a topic. And that's how I wrote the book. My editor would send me 10 topics, and I would put them in a little bowl, and then I'd pull one out and I'd write about it. 300 to 500 words, and she'd edit them. And it was a wonderful way to write that book right there. And I loved doing it. But, you got to listen to his podcast. It's 35 minutes long. If you want to write a book, he'll teach you how. And it'll be fun. Well, I'm going to end today with a lullaby, because sometimes we all need to just feel loved, and a lullaby does that. Let me find a lullaby. So y'all have a good rest of the day. I'm going to get this posted and up on YouTube for you. And I want to thank you all for giving me my purpose in life. I never knew what it was until somebody asked for my help. And my house was clean. And it wasn't standing in my way to say, I can do this. I can help this person. And that's how Fly Lady started. All because one person asked for my help and my house was clean. And it wasn't keeping me from saying yes. You're going to love flying. You really are. Uh-oh, I know what's happened. I've talked too long. My machine turned off. It was on standby. Yeah, it's on now. Here we go. I love you all. Well, that wasn't the song I wanted to play, but this will do it. This is Fly Lady. I would like for you to enjoy the God breezes. Put your feet up, close your eyes, and take a few minutes for yourself. See y'all tomorrow about 11 o'clock. Bye. Love you.